Okay, abusia ba makwa abasonko so adeba POG Media so abusia yembonra eye yensemu ene Koforidua High Court ensawem Addo constituency seat no ense na there is back and forth ekoso between NDC and Dompreh na High Court etnas no omo ruling in favor of Dompreh. Now we and NDC legal team say no asem no se koko PMO Supreme Court na ruling in favor to Dompreh no enye ne kwan so no enti omo file appeal against High Court ruling on Dompreh. Omo file appeal against the High Court ruling or more ruling in favor of Dompreh no, all because of say Dompreh ni seat na omo declare ni win no seat no illegal abusia sisi ano NDC legal team no atiki action is omo the case no asanso akopie mo Supreme Court omo che say asem no monte ase ne enti ase china cause Dompreh no ni seat no it's a fake pin sheet any scan document it's a omo no NPP for no pese omo di bre omo ni so no omo no more real evidence it's a Dompreh ni seat no illegal abusuya Dr. Rashid Tanko aba edinsen bia betu dia mom yenko na yenko nkoti ensema course na answer na yebeko no o ensem kan bi afahye your comment section like na share ma afofro so answer into me enkabi POG Media so medamase.
This is the National Democratic Congress parliamentary election petition against the Member of Parliament for the Nsomadrejure constituency, Frank Dompreh. What's next for the NDC? That's the question, really, that we'll be finding out from the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. That's Dr. Tanko Computer, Rashid Tanko Computer is going to be joining us in a bit. But the Koforidua High Court earlier today dismissed the election petition case challenging Frank Dompreh as Member of Parliament for the Nsomadrejure constituency after the December 2024 parliamentary election. This is one of a number of the election petitions running as we speak. The petition, which sought to invalidate essentially the election of Frank Dompreh as the MP-elect or declared by the Electoral Commission, was struck out by the court earlier today following a legal application filed by the Director of Legal Affairs for the New Patriotic Party, Gary Akuffo. So you recall all the issues that surrounded this particular election in the Nsomadrejure constituency, the violence that characterized that election process on December 7th and a couple of days afterwards. And the counting process the collation was halted and it was brought to the Greater Accra region, specifically the police training school, where the Electoral Commission had designated a collation for the Greater Accra region taking place in some of the disputed constituencies. And eventually that declaration was made in a very, very tense atmosphere at the time. But then the NDC also clearly indicated their intention to contest this in the court of law. This process has traveled up until this particular point as we have it. What you're seeing on the screen are the violent moments that characterize that election process in that constituency. Let's hear a bit of that, just to lay the basis for exactly how this case has transpired to now.
You are the other one to say.
So this is how the issues played out. And you recall on Tuesday, February 25th, the Koforidua High Court bailiff issued a substituted order requiring Frank Dompreh, the Electoral Commission and the Clerk of Parliament to appear before the court in Koforidua. This order was in connection with that election petition filed by the NDC, which alleged that the Electoral Commission made an improper declaration in favor of Frank Dompreh. The case, spearheaded by the NDC parliamentary candidate Femi Salom Philibert and his legal team, contested the legitimacy of Frank Dompreh as MP for Nsawam-Addo. But the court's ruling today not only dismissed the petition, but also imposed a cost of 25,000 cedis on the NDC parliamentary candidate. Now, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. Is joining us on Zoom right now. Dr. Rashid Tanko, this appears to be a clear blow to you in your efforts to overturn the election results in Nsawam-Addo, is it not? Because then this case against Frank Dompreh has been ruled out, and also a cost awarded in his favor on the head of your candidate in the area.
Alfred, let me say good evening to you and your cherished viewers and the good people of Ghana, especially the NDC activists and supporters. Alfred, this is just the beginning of things to come.
How do you mean?
Hey, what I mean is that we are not going to accept this ruling. This ruling is a total travesty of justice, and we are not going to accept it.
Why do you describe it as travesty of justice?
It's a total travesty of justice. What? Alfred?
No, I was asking why do you describe this ruling as a total travesty of justice? Exactly why?
The reason being that Addo Dompreh was illegally declared. They used fake pink sheet. We saw it. I'm happy you are showing something at this on your screen. At Tesano, I was there. The returning officer who was attempting to declare on that day, we pointed out to him that, look, these pink sheets being used by the MPP were fake pink sheets because they photocopied them. They were photocopy pink sheets. Do we use photocopy pink sheets to declare results? Well, that's what they were doing.
Did you adduce all of this in the court of law? Did you adduce all of this in the court of law?
Look, Alfred,
I'm asking you if you adduced this pink sheet you talk about, which you say was fake and were used to declare him as MP. Did you adduce it in a court of law as evidence?
Alfred, the trial judge did not even allow us to go through the whole work of the processes involved. They use what is known as that there's no case for them to answer. They filed a writ calling that the judge should dismiss our petition. They do not even allow us to open for another plaintiff to open his defense, so that we go into the matter and scrutinize the process leading to the declaration of the results. They didn't allow that.
I see.
They filed a process asking that the court should dismiss our decision, and the judge upheld their writ today by dismissing the matter. So invariably, we have not even gone to the issues. That is why we are saying it's travesty of justice.
But the
why
court
would they do such a ruling?
The court thinks otherwise. I mean, I'm sure the court saw reason in the argument of Gary Nemako to that extent, granting this particular ruling, is it not?
That is why we describe it as a total travesty of justice. We as a party, the NDC, will not accept this. We are going to appeal against it. We are even in the process. We want to get a complete ruling of it. We have seek this in clearance from our legal committee, and we are asking that we are going to file an appeal against this one. We are not going to allow it to stay. These are the things they do, and we allow illegal people to parade themselves as MPs in Parliament. And they were causing all manner of noise and disturbing everybody here in the House of Parliament. These are the things. They are illegal MPs, and we are going to fight them out to it. We are not going to relent on this.
But until the court rules otherwise, don't you think it's unfair to describe him as an illegal MP?
Of course, that is why we say it's a travesty of justice. Yes, we are not bastardizing the court. Yes, the court, we respect the courts, whatever they are doing, but we believe that this one, the court got it wrong. And that is why we are saying that we respect them. The judiciary is one of the important arm of government that we respect. And in fact, we normally describe them as the last resort.
Right.
When there are challenges in governance, that is where we go. Okay, but we cannot allow this. That is why we are saying that we will make sure that we will use the same legal process to overturn this ruling.
I see. So essentially, you're saying you're going to appeal.
Questions.
You're going to appeal this ruling.
Yes, we are going to appeal against
But
this ruling. We are not going to allow it to stand.
I see. But until then, the legality or illegality of the status of Frank Dompreh is still at least intact. The legality is settled by this ruling as we speak until you challenge it, is it not?
And that is why we are saying we have given indication that we are going to challenge this. And we are calling on our party supporters and activists in the constituency to be rest assured that NDC leadership will not allow this one to lie down. We are going to follow it through. Alfred, look, these things, if we don't stop it, the tendency of people getting away with it in the near future will be too much. They will going to have a lot of people who are not validly elected using crooked electoral processes and then this thing, blind judicial officers to get themselves into their house or his house. These are the things we are preventing. And we are saying that we are not going to accept this. You saw that it happened, you remember the High Court thing that gave them the first mandamus, and Supreme Court quashed that decision and asked the judge to recuse himself from the case. You remember that matter?
Yes.
These are the issues we are talking of.
Well,
so if we allow it to lie low without going to Supreme Court, you know the kind of damage that judge would have done to the judicial system of this country. Well, these are the things we are talking of. MP today, look at another ruling. Look at this plain travesty of justice. I mean, it just I would describe it as they've just robbed us off, and we are not going to allow it.
I intend to juxtapose the earlier position you espoused and the confidence you have in the judiciary, and then also you just pointing to some of them as crooked judicial officers. I mean, where do I find the balance in all of this?
I'm saying that, look, when you have a problem with the judiciary, you use the same process to remediate it. Is that not true? Yes, you use the same process. If you realize that this is a crooked judicial officers who have connived with the MPP to steal the mandate of people, you still use the same judicial system to correct that kind of crooked ruling. And I gave you an example of what happened in Accra High Court. When the judge did that ruling on Sunday, Saturday afternoon, didn't we go to the Supreme Court and they quashed that ruling? We stopped it. We quashed the ruling at the Supreme Court. We use the same legal system to quash. And I'm saying that, yes, you can describe, because that day it was a very bad ruling. And we pointed out the ills in that ruling. And actually, when we went to Supreme Court, they upheld our position and quashed it. And I'm saying that the same thing. Today ruling, we have seen that that ruling cannot stand. It doesn't have legs to stand.
Okay.
It defies all legal logic. And that is why we are going to fight it.
I see. So when is this process of appeal starting, as you have indicated right now?
We are putting our documents together. Our lawyers are in action as I speak now. We are not going to allow it to lie down. We are not going to allow it. We'll make sure that no illegal MP is allowed in the House. We will fight them and make sure that they are out using the legal means, the legal process to get them out from the House so that the right persons will represent the people. They voted for them. Look, they voted for Selo. Our candidate, they voted for him. These people use vandal means to get away with it. Brought fake pink sheet, brought a photocopy ones. Where did they get it from?
Dr. Asitako, we would still have to supervise a demolition at this same Sakumo Ramsar site. And he indicated that the demolition was going to continue. In fact, he gave details of the different phases that it will take. This was what the minister in 2023 said. I'm talking about Henry Korte. Take a look.
People's houses were virtually submerged in water. It is said that prevention is better than cure. This exercise is not in any way, shape, or form to victimize anybody. What the exercise is about today is to target buildings, or in fact, fence walls that have been erected in the core area, water. They are building in the water. So the men and women, as you see today, will have 3 phases of the work. Today, tomorrow, and day 3, they are going to bring down all the fence walls that are in the water. I'm sure you've seen it. Once they've done that, there will be another critical assessment where the agency and the lands, forestry, will now identify buildings that are still sited in the waterway. And then they are marked. And then the next phase will continue.
So this is what happened in the Sakomo Ramsar site. This was in sometime in October 2022. Weeks later, after that, the statement from the minister that this demolition is going to be in phases. In November 2022, the minister announced that the demolition has been suspended. The demolition of buildings at this same the Sakomo site, Ramsar site, has been suspended, and that they wanted to put a human face to the demolition of these buildings built illegally in these Ramsar areas. Take a look.
I want to say here and now that not a single building will be demolished. We will go through some processes of discussions, and we will have this kind of meeting again in about 3 weeks' time, by which time we would have had a clear roadmap. So if you wake up in the morning and you find somebody demolishing somebody's house, mole, eja ken chukole. The security and intelligence agencies are here. They work with instructions. They will be there to assist Lands Forestry Commission to go through some processes. But I can tell you that not even one building will be touched for now. We are human beings. We reason. And we know the circumstances that we find ourselves in currently. So we want to show human face.
So they want to show human face. This was in November 2022. They want to put human face to the demolition of these buildings illegally built on Ramsar site. So then the question about why this issue becomes a yearly thing. You demolish 1 year, the next year buildings are put up again, they go back to the same site, demolish, then the next year you demolish and then you put a human face to it. Who are the people who are selling these lands? How come that the security agencies are not able to check this? Even the municipal assemblies as well, and then the traditional authorities. So what is happening? Well, this is what the law says. Would always go back to the law, because we are in the rule of law, not in the banana republic, essentially. This is what the Wetland Management Ramsar Site Regulations 1999, LI 1659 says. Regulation 1, the following areas, the particulars of which are set out in the schedule to these regulations are hereby designated as Ramsar sites. Mune Pomaze, Densu Delta, that's include Weja and the Dansuman area, one of the areas you saw the demolition taking place. Sakomo, very notorious areas we have seen over the years. Songo, Keta Lagoon Complex, and Wabi Wildlife Sanctuary. And the details as we have it. So the law gives details of all these areas. Sakomo Ramsar site, located at the west of Tema. Much of this area, especially for the front of it, has been sold. Songo Ramsar site as well, a surface some encroachment. Keta Lagoon, we know of what has become, and then the inland Owabi Wildlife Sanctuary as well, as we see it. This is it. If you can check it out, Google it, and get to follow it as well. Engineer Abdullah Mahama, it's been very, very livid about this particular exercise over the period. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Engineer, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this whole exercise of every year. The ministers, especially Greater Accra Regional ministers, supervising a demolition. They demolish the next year, buildings spring up again. How do you understand this perennial exercise?
Well, I say good evening to your cherished listeners. And I pray that this current minister doesn't wake up suddenly in 2026, or maybe somewhere at the tail end of 2025 to tell us that in fact, there's another human face that has been put to the demolition, which is ongoing. I am 110% backing the minister with the support from the government or the president to demolish every structure, one piece of block that is left within the Ramsar site, i.e. the Akroma one, the Delta Basin, the Densu Delta, the Delta, the Keta Lagoon, the Noni Pomazi, and the like.
Okay, abusunya wene ensema ekoso ewo political highway so eye Dompreh and still NDC legal team no hunt no all because of any seats na eye illegal ene Koforidua High Court say omo declare in favor of him no abusunya yabe damase samoje pene kokoti sa oduwe edemai aha POG Media so medamase